We are officially through opening weekend, and the biggest storyline is ABS and the robot umpires. What's up, everybody? Welcome into Bad for Baseball. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, joined alongside Adam Peddle. We're going to break down some of the biggest and best ABS moments from this weekend. It was awesome. It was lively. I think, just first takeaway here, I think that it is adding to the game right now. But of course, you guys let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. The one thing that's coming to my brain right now, I know we had it in the bank, but let's just like kind of play this off the top, dude. That Eugenio Suarez back-to-back ABS call. CB Buckner behind the dish, who is notoriously one of, if not the worst umpire in the game right now. He tries to ring up Eugenio Suarez twice. 2 times, and Eugenio gets him back-to-back, dude.
No, it was amazing. I think this is the exact moment right here why they brought ABS into baseball, when it's a big spot for the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, when we think about it, where they were in that game, they're up. They got bases loaded, 2 outs. Eugenio Suarez, their new offseason addition. The fans want to see Eugenio, the home crowd, come through in a big spot. But no. CB Buckner, in his old ways, trying to rob him from his moment. Twice, mind you. 2 times. 2 times, right? And it's just beautiful. And I think the most beautiful part about this clip, I'm not going to play it because of copyright purposes, but when you go look it up on Twitter, guys, you can look it up all over online. But the beautiful part is the crowd. The reaction from that crowd was unbelievably loud when he got called overturned twice for the second time in that at-bat. But that's why they're here, right? Because the guys who are going to decide the at-bat need to be the pitcher, need to be the catcher, and then needs to be the batter right there. And so far, you said it right there off the top. You've been loving this ABS thing. It's been a big success. Man, I think this is a smash hit. This might be the best rule since the stolen bag kind of implication with the step offs and the bigger bases. This is the best rule they've implemented in my lifetime. And pitch clock too. Honestly, a pitch clock was a great rule too.
Yes.
This is better than that.
Do me a favor, just find a still image right there of like one of or like right there. I mean, or honestly, the second one was even a bit more egregious. Like find there. So this is why this is here. Right. This is why this is here. When the bases are loaded and when you could get run up like this. This is a game-defining call right now, guys. 2 times, right? 2 times he almost got screwed over. And shout out to Eugenio Suarez for, I guess, just having the knowledge of the strike zone a hell of a lot better than CB Buckner and challenging him on it. He was a little bit pissed off.
He was giving attitude like, come on. Well, dude, do better at your job.
Right? Do better at your job. Like, you're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get called on if you end up making bad calls, right? You're going to get shown up by the batters. And I think it's, again, like that's what it's here to solve. It's not here to solve every single pitch all the time, because when we watched all the Toronto Blue Jays games this weekend, and we did see a lot of stolen strikes still, specifically by Toronto, but even a couple by the Athletics as well. But there were a couple stolen strikes. Nothing like that, though, where it's like, you know what, this is a game-defining moment, and it is clearly off of the plate right now. That's why this is here to solve problems like that.
And I want to talk about the still stealing of strikes, because we saw a lot of that in the Toronto series. But to wrap it up right here, I mean, this was CB's umpire scorecard. They've updated the umpire scorecards right here, and I love it. So you can they still reflect their still overall calls before ABS, but then you can see it right at the bottom left right there. They actually include the ABS challenges, and he was overturned 6 out of 8 times. So there you go, right there, right? So you can see, like, okay, this is the umpire that we got to be getting on our shit and calling these. If we think it's off the plate, we better take our shot and call it, because it's probably going to be overturned. But now to jump off what you were saying right there about the whole like still stealing strikes and framing, we saw that, of course, with Kirk Daddy, the captain, Alejandro Kirk, being one of the best framers in all of baseball. We knew that was a big storyline coming to the season, where his skill is going to be taken away because of ABS. Not the case. You got an Athletics team right here that was seemingly a little bit timid.
They were a bit timid
to challenge the zone.
And I think that'll change as time goes on.
I think so too. But then also too, I saw a couple borderline calls where even I wasn't sure whether I would have called a challenge on that or not, that they were still timid to do, and some were just off the plate. So I think in a way, the very tight and close borderline gray area pitches are still going to be a factor where we're going to leave it up to the catcher still framing and just really convincing the umpire that was a ball or a strike.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what this is meant for. It's the egregious calls, right?
Yeah.
It's the ones where the batter is so overwhelmingly aware that was either a ball or a strike, or vice versa. The pitcher's so aware that was a strike, and you know what? Like they are going to call you on that immediately.
Yeah,
right? We're going to stop those egregious calls. But of course, there's plenty of times where the batter's in the box and a pitch is called and it's called a strike, and he's not really sure, but it could have been maybe, right? And at that point, well, you don't want to burn your first team's challenge in inning 2 of the ball game on something that you really weren't 100% on. And I think that's why this is such a good rule, because of the challenge system. If it was a robot umpire where it was every time and it was perfect every time, that really does take the whole human element of the game, and framing is gone. And at that point, why do you even fucking have a catch?
Yeah, just literally.
You might as well just like throw it into a net back there. Right? It's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so I don't think that is the solution. I think that we found it right now. Like, this is working great in opening weekend. We'll see how things go as the season progresses, what the strategy becomes, because I think teams are still trying to figure out right now, like, do we need to save one for the ninth inning? Like, when do we want to start burning these? Because there was also a few that were like pretty egregious in the first inning that I noticed people were more hesitant to call than they were in innings later, right?
Yes.
And is that because, well, we definitely don't want to be wrong here, but if you know it's a ball or if you know it's a strike, well, you should still go after it. It's going to be interesting to see how things develop, but early impressions for me, I'm loving it.
Yeah, and I think there's me too, and I think there's a comfort level, right? There's a comfort level when there comes to these batters that may not be these super all-stars, because again, watching it just from the Blue Jays perspective, Vladdy, no hesitation, was able to call one early. He was wrong. He was wrong, but like it was like definitely wrong. Like they caught a lot part of the zone. Yeah. And then we even saw a part where Denzel Clark, second year in the league, he called it, but it was definitely wrong. So like it's giving people some hesitancy right now, but once they start to get like warmed up and get a feel of like, okay, like I'm not going to call that same spot again, because I know that was in this ABS system a strike. Because you got to think of it from the batter's perspective too. When your entire life playing baseball, it's always been determined, the strike zone, by the umpire. What does it look like today? Is it a little bit wider? Is it a little bit shorter? Is it a little bit taller? Like, what is the strike zone today? So they're just going based off of that. Whereas, like, okay, now I have to accustom my thinking to the strike zone of what is this robot ABS's strike zone.
Right.
So there will be a little bit of adjustment, but we'll see how that goes. To wrap up the ABS conversation, we have some fun stats right here. Overall, and I'm excited to see where these numbers go, but it did feel like when we saw the stats from the minor league system, when they tested out the ABS, this was generally right around where it was. You saw a better chance from the fielders overturning the calls, because the fielders are basically the catchers, because they're right effing there looking at the strike. 63% of overturned calls are from the fielders' perspective, and 42% of the batters were able to overturn the calls. Batters a little bit harder, of course, like we've been seeing, but overall, 54% of calls have been overturned.
That's interesting.
Right?
42% from the batter. So it's actually, it's well below 50% then. I guess so. I mean, I guess so.
Think about it, right?
It's really difficult. And even these professionals who've been doing this forever, it is tough to fully understand where that 96 mile per hour pitch was in your zone, right? And is your zone the same zone as his zone, and is it the same zone as the actual zone, right? So that's interesting to me. And obviously, I guess the catchers, this is the one skill that, not the one skill, but one of the skills that they literally hone in like since day one. So that's really cool that they have a 63% success rate compared to the 42. But I like that it's just slightly above average, right? Slightly above 50, and that's gonna keep me on the edge of my seat, because it's like, well, every time a call is called, it's like, oh shit, like, wait, is it?
Exactly.
So I think that this is helping the game. I really do think that this is just an awesome overall development. But of course, folks, you guys let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. How do you feel about the ABS system on opening weekend? And just your overall thoughts about opening weekend as a whole. Miami 3-0. What the hell? Crazier things.
You got the big dogs doing big dog work, but Miami.
And then also Miami.
Miami they little dog the Rockies, which I think that's another story.
Yes, that's another podcast.
Here we go again.
Later, folks. But hit that like, smash that subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts down below, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.